It's our last night in the marina. I'm celebrating by mixing a rum and coke, and Mick is celebrating by mixing paint. There she is. That's where she's supposed to be, in the water. Okay, so our toilet's leaking and one of the through holes is leaking. I'm Kate, and this is my husband Mick. Our kids, Thomas and Bentley, and my parents, Kevin and Shawna. We are 3 generations coming together to create the Cruising Meraki Project. By the sea, silver caps the ocean. We'll be sailing free. I don't know this notion, but I know it to be true. I just can't stop singing. Oh, how baby I love you. How's it going out here?
It's hot, man. My hat is like almost sweat through to the front peak and up to here.
It's gone from raining every day that we need to be painting or doing something to now when we're inside the boat, it's so hot. The weather is so weird.
Which is fine. I know we're going to get
fine.
the heat, but
Yeah.
it's been a switch. Like, what was it? Not even 2 weeks ago, it was 6 degrees in the morning, and now it's like 25 in the shade.
What's happening tomorrow?
Boat's going back in the water. Oh, yeah!
Crazy.
Yeah. More packing and sorting, and we've got to get that wind vane back on as well now that the signage is done on the back at least. Yeah, we drop in the water at 3:30 p.m. and then we're going to stay overnight on that service dock and then leave the next morning.
It's our last night in the marina. I'm celebrating by mixing a rum and coke, and Mick is celebrating by mixing paint.
But the drill bit's not straight and there's wobbling everything.
And the last thing we have on our list to do is they moved the stands for us a couple days ago, and there were some blisters under them, really minor ones. So Mick ground those out and faired them, and there's barrier coat on them. So we just need to paint the red bottom paint and we're done.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We're at this stage. This is like painting the patches. And then tomorrow we're gonna paint the patches for the second time.
It's the last one. Ow.
How many weeks ago was it? 7? Feels like 2 years ago that I was cutting those blisters out.
We're testing if the alarm and the bilge pump works.
I wonder how many people actually do this, like test their bilge pump system. Our main bilge pump with the float switch, so there's a switch on the ground, and as the water level rises in there, it knocks that switch up, and then it gets to a certain level and it'll kick the bilge on. But our bilge pump has to pump that water up nearly like 9-10 feet of hose before it goes out. Now the problem is that once that water level drops in there and the pump kicks off, the hose is still full of water, so all that water then flows back down into the bilge, fills it up again, hits that switch, pump turns it on, and then that cycle just repeats itself. So it fills up, pumps out, fills up, pumps out. I actually installed a tiny little bilge pump right on the ground, and it's lower than the bigger one. And then off that, I've just got a 3/4 hose just loose. I will be able to just put a bucket down in the bilge and just turn that little pump on manually and pump the water into the bucket, which will drop the water low enough so it's not activating the float switch all the time. So the big bilge pump we have, that's like a boat saving bilge pump if there's a decent leak. So that should be on all the time. Should never be switched off. So we've got our big pump hooked to a float switch. So I'm just testing that out now and it's working great.
Is it running? I can't even hear it.
Yeah, super quiet, isn't it?
It's very quiet.
See, look at that.
It should almost dry and then it comes back out.
Yeah. So here's that spare hose I was talking about. It's attached to the smaller bilge pump. And then basically just stick it in the bucket. I could probably do it myself actually. And then that little bilge pump, can you see it down there? The one with the little red cap on it?
Yep.
So that's just a tiny little one. It sits lower to the ground so we had to suck more water up.
And the white one is our main
yes.
bilge pump.
Yep. So I've just got that red one on a manual switch.
Okay, we should relabel these. So which one do you want me to turn on?
The amp one.
Ready?
Yep. Did the main switch go on as well?
Oh, no.
Power to the hole. So that's going to run dry in a sec. And then we just turn that switch off.
So now if we turn the main bilge pump on, it shouldn't be sucking water, right?
Correct.
So I'll turn that on.
Yep. Hopefully that helps somebody else out. The original system on this actually had a one-way valve on that big hose. So water could go out and the valve would open. And then as the water came back down, it pushed it shut. The problem is those valves shrink a pipe that's this big down to this much. So you lose all that volume of water being able to get out of the boat. And you've constantly got water sitting in that hose, which I don't think is really that great.
What time is it, boys? Do you know?
Past lunchtime.
What? What time is it?
Is it 1 o'clock?
No.
Yeah. 11.
11. Don't stress me out. So we splash in 4 hours. And I'm gonna go run some errands. And the boys are gonna wrap up some things here. And we should be ready. What you got there?
Oh, wooden plugs.
And why today do we want to make sure we have a lot of those around?
Just how many changes we made to hoses and through holes and seacocks, so...
We're worried that we might take on water because we have changed so much.
Yeah, it's only downward of the seacock, so any of the hoses, if there's a rupture, then you smack this in, take the hose off. I guess most of our concerns are the new through holes and seacocks and threads and stuff, but these are still a must. So you're supposed to just drill a hole through and then attach some wire and then just secure it nearby. So if there's an issue, it's on hand to go. Boom! What about your hammer? I guess you need to then tie a hammer to every one. Otherwise you're gonna go looking for your hammer and then these miles will be where your hammer is. So there is a slight concern that water may come in when we drop. There's been so many changes throughout the boat and this is my first time doing all this. We're gonna have to quickly run around and double check them all, just in case. This is like... Psst, 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 psst.
And then what happens if we take on water?
I run out and I do this emoji. And then they'll...
Take us back out.
Yeah.
And then we have no plans.
Yeah, then there's no...
We'll be living on the hard until it's fixed.
Yeah.
We don't have beds back at Mom and Dad's. We'd
No.
literally be living on the hard. That would be brutal.
Yeah. Stuff happens.
And by some miracle, the boat is tidy. I'm not saying things are put away very nicely, but things are put away. And that's something. We moved onto the boat in the last, what, 3 days?
Yeah.
3 days. Crazy. Okay, we're in at the next boat. They're taking that one and we're next. Hey guys, there's Grandma and Grandpa.
Yeah.
You wanna go get them? Mom and Dad are gonna come watch the big splash.
Let's just do what you want to. Please don't be polite, cause I like your attitude. Let's forget about
I'm feeling pretty nervous about the through holes.
I feel okay now for the first time.
So what is the plan?
I think they're just gonna sit it in and I'll be able to jump on and just run through and check everything.
Ah, I'm nervous.
attention. Move us into the next dimension. Let's just let our bodies be true. We make
Okay, first water will be coming in now.
Ah, don't say that.
So the prop's in the water and we changed the dripless shaft seal, so that could be leaking now. That's the only one so far. And right now we're approaching the cockpit drains and the rear head intake.
Right there.
He got it. Yeah, that's perfect.
Pretty nervous.
See, you have a seat back here to sit
Worried
on.
it's gonna leak. Well, and what we were thinking is, if something leaks and we have to order a part or something, we're gonna be living on the hard because we don't have beds at your place anymore.
Alright, so the boat's in the water. Now I quickly got to check all the through holes. Sorry about the light. That one seems fine, it's not spurting. This one's fine, no drips. That looks great. Sorry, my light's terrible. I'll go check the front head, which isn't really in the water, which is fine. Fine. Now I just got to check the cockpit drains and the exhaust. Yeah, they're all fine. So there's the exhaust one, and then the cockpit drain. They were completely removed and re-greased and re-ground. They look good. Yeah. So now there's just one more. It's hard to see, there's a bag there, but and that one I left open, I didn't actually close that one. That seems fine too. We're all good.
There she is. That's where she's supposed to be, in the water. That feels so good, so crazy.
I just tried to flush the toilet to see if the connections were fine, and for whatever reason I have 2 hose clamps on the bottom. It's just not locking the water off.
It's just when you flush it?
Yeah, like it's like these hoses just aren't, there's just water pouring out of it. That through hole turned, which worried me a bit.
It turned?
Yeah, like I threaded on as tight as I could when I connected it, and then I bumped the hose and the whole thing just turned on the threads. Oh yeah, this one's leaking. And I had that closed and it's leaking, so that's a worry.
Okay, so do you need to run and get the guy?
No.
Okay, so our toilet's leaking and one of the through holes is leaking. Well, it's not the through hole, but I guess the seacock's leaking. That one okay?
Yeah. The kitchen one is fine as long as the shutoff works, which it should, it's brand new, right? Then I just have to, well no, I don't know if I can actually. I don't know if I can unscrew the elbow that comes out of there. I don't know if I've got enough room because I put it together before it went in the boat. And if I try and tighten it, I might crack the through hole on the outside. But I started off with them all closed. So if there was a leak when they were closed, then I knew we had a bigger issue, because that means that to stop leaking, I couldn't shut the seacocks off. And then once we're in the water, if I open them and then there's a leak downstream, then I know that I can at least shut the seawater off coming in and then fix whatever.
Fix it in the water.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 2 minor issues, meaning we're not going to sink due to the issues, but they're fairly significant to fix. One is the toilet hose where it clamps to the U-bend is leaking. It's like a plastic U-bend. And the other is the sink drain goes out a whole bunch of hose and then connects to an elbow, and that screws into the seacock and it's leaking at that thread. Well, we need to remove all the hose and tighten the elbow onto the seacock. So the hose took like 4 hours to get into place just because it's really awkward. So we're just gonna have to cut it off because it can't be removed any other way, which means I need to find some more hose. I'm on the hunt. I'm out running down the street before the store is closed to try and get some more hose. And it's 5:04 and they closed at 5. We have a leak in the elbow that leads to the seacock. The hose is super hard to get on and off. It took Mick forever and a friend to help get it on. So right now, because we opened the seacock and then water from the outside came up into the hose up to water level, the hose still has water in it, even though we've now closed the seacock. So we need to cut the hose, drain it, and then remove that piece of hose, tighten the elbow, and then put some new hose back on. So then why is it leaking?
because I'm gonna guess that there's no Teflon tape on it.
You just forgot it?
Yeah, I was doing it when I wasn't planning to install this. I just had like an hour or two at the end of the day and I just threw it on there. And yeah, I should have been better prepared and more organized to do it. But it was just, there was so many things happening. There was like 10 different things happening at once and I was having a hard time knowing which one to do first.
Keeping track of what you'd already done.
Yeah.
So the other Seacocks all have the Teflon tape and this one just got missed.
Yeah. Yeah, I just kept cranking that elbow around and I had a huge wrench on the Seacock because I didn't want that to turn. So I just kept turning it. Why are you laughing?
Because of this.
Do you know what? When I can't sleep, sometimes I turn my head, and I bet you tons of people do. They'll put their pillow right here, and then they go like this.
You do not do that. Do you
I bet
really?
you people have done that before.
Okay, so Mick is working in a lot of dark little spaces, so it's hard to film. But the update is we cut off the old hose, confirmed that the drip was definitely coming from the elbow, unscrewed the elbow, confirmed that we did forget to put Teflon tape on the elbow, put Teflon tape on the elbow, put the elbow back in place, replace the hose, and where are you at now?
Just tightening the hose clamps.
This is an upgrade. You took my cushions off the
So much better.
settee and now you're laying in the kitchen.
And I cut my hair.
Nick, what happened?
I don't know. I just saw blood on things that I was touching.
Okay, so the plan is to open the Seacock and see if it leaks. Okay, I'm opening it.
Okay. No leaks here.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any leaks either. Yay! I could cry, I'm so happy. We have to leave this dock tomorrow. They have been gracious enough to let us stay here tonight. But this is a service dock. This is the service dock for the boat launch. And people can't stay here long term. And there's no room at any marina. We have to leave tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if we have a serious, okay, a drip is not a serious issue. But it could have been serious if there was a problem with
Beyond
through-haul.
that, yeah. And then we'd have to haul back out again.
I'm so relieved. Good job, Mick.
It helps to know your boat. We put all this stuff in, so as soon as I saw where the drip was coming from, I knew what the potential problem was and how to fix it.
All right, so it's 9:20. We splashed around, 4 o'clock? Poor guy, still working away.
Yeah, mate. I signed up for this.
But we have one problem fixed. Second problem.
I think it's as simple as... So this elbow is pointing that way.
Okay.
And I just don't have room to move the toilet this way, so when I had the hose on, I think it was almost coming straight up.
It was too much of a bend.
Which was pushing the bottom out, and I'm going to try and shove it so it forces the hose to push down and try and get on a better angle.
So basically the hose was on too much of an angle.
Yeah. 10 o'clock at night fixing toilets. Okay, so the water's on. Yeah, should we try this again? So it leaked from the bottom last time and up here last time. So, let's see. Didn't see any.
Yay, Mick! You solved all our problems tonight!
Yeah.
High
I
five!
can get a good sleep. I'm gonna go have a shower.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! What a night! What a day! I am tired. I might just need a minute to process all of this. When we got in the water, I was concerned that we really should have hauled back out. I really felt like, oh my God, call the guy back, because I was really worried. It's Friday night and nobody works on the weekend. So if something started happening and we were taking on a lot of water, what would we have done? Would have been like an emergency service because nobody's back until Monday. Anyway, it's so good. Now tomorrow we can leave. Our plan is to go to Sydney Spit, which is really just like a stone's throw from here. Throw our anchor down, and then we're nice and close to be able to dinghy back to like Sydney and go back to the farm and do some cleanup and stuff that we need to do there. So it's good. We can do it. We will be able to leave tomorrow. I did most of the packing up of the house. Mick packed one box. He was pretty busy. Check out the stuff he brought.
What is that?
We have so many of these.
Oh.
I have a whole container of them.
Bandages, chocolate, gum. This hasn't worked for a few years.
Are you serious?
Here's one flip-flop. This is great. None of the flashlights have batteries. What's that? That's yours.
You are nuts.
Good box.
Good morning. Welcome to a new day in your new home. How'd you sleep? Good. All right, well, it's another busy morning aboard Meraki. Just cleaning up, trying to get things put away and sorted. And the boat's not leaking anymore, so that's awesome. This is it. The first time we're leaving the dock without Mom or Dad on board to help us. I'm really nervous. Mick seems fine. It's just the docking part I think I'm a bit nervous about. So we have to leave the service dock and we actually have to do like a 180.
Yeah, we have to pivot the boat on the dock, like spin on the spot, and there's expensive boats right near us.
It's pretty crowded. Then we need to go to the fuel dock and fuel up, and then we need to leave that dock and then anchor. And we've never really put the anchor down before.
Our anchor's never touched the water.
I'm a bit nervous, but I'm trying not to be. It will be fine. Here goes nothing.
How we doing? Talk to me.
I feel like we should have a fender here.
How much room have we got at the dock?
Really close.
How many feet? I know, but how far away are we from hitting it?
2 or 3.
Okay.
I don't know how this went so smoothly. We had our bow line slung through the dock cleat, and Mick was able to expertly pivot around the bow line. Learning to maneuver a single screw 45-foot sailboat in tight situations is no easy feat. Okay, crap footage because there's too much going on, but Captain's killing it. We're leaving the fuel dock behind. Great job. That went a lot better than I expected. We did it! It all went pretty smooth. We left the marina and we have no plans to ever go back. Pretty freaking crazy. We're nuts, I tell you.
This is great. Yeah, I just went down below just to check in the bilges and make sure the water was pumping through and the shaft was spinning freely. The solar controller has shut itself off because it's knowing now that the engine's working, so it doesn't need any of that.
All systems go.
Yeah, everything's working great.
Let's have one more tricky task, which is anchoring in a very busy spot. Sydney Spit, like last summer with Swan, we didn't go here once because we were like, it's way too packed. But we want to be here this week because it's nice and close and a quick dinghy ride back to Sydney, and we're going to be doing that a fair bit. Kind of looks like there's a good spot just right here.
Just hit it right there. I'm gonna switch her off, man. Temp's holding steady. That's that.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, this is wild.
Yeah, what a week. Like, final crunch of getting all the projects done in the boatyard to splashing.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up here because we're here. We're at Sydney Spit. We made it. It was all pretty smooth.
Yeah, we're anchored right near where we pictured. The dinghy's tied up. We're sitting in the sand having a beer right where we were aiming to, so.
What a feeling. I think we feel like we have a lot to process.
Yeah, we do.
I can't believe that that's our home over there, and this is it.
Yeah, it's full of fuel, full of water, ready to take us anywhere.
Living the dream. It's gonna be a great summer, and then fall will be awesome. Big learning curve. Okay, well that's a wrap. Have a great week, everybody.